Hey everybody, how are we doing today? Cool. So sadly, as I'm sure you could tell, that I am not here today, even though technically I am here, but not here in real life. You will notice, of course, I'm wearing the same clothes. Yes, I recorded this today, which is now your yesterday. Very confusing stuff, but here I am. We're going to talk about some classroom expectations, some procedures, just because I want to keep going. I want to get through all this mumbo jumbo talky stuff and get to the fun stuff as soon as possible. So before I get going with all that stuff, let us thank whoever is my substitute today and is covering for me. They are an amazing person. Let's give them a round of applause. Come on, clap a little louder. Enthusiasm. There you go. Thank you, substitute teacher. Whoever you are my hero. And I owe you a favor. So, today, day 2 of your Tech Ed experience. I want to talk to you about some procedural stuff of how this classroom works. And really these procedures are to make the classroom flow more effectively, efficiently. You only have so many days in Tech Ed. And some of the projects need a lot of time. And it's really unfortunate that as we progress, we save those bigger projects for the end. And if we're constantly kind of just a couple minutes here or there, we're late to class, we're talking, we're interrupting, all those little things, all those minutes add up to like losing a day or two. And we can't have that. So, not only for your well-being and your projects and your Tech Ed experience, but also for my mental sanity, which I don't know if you know, sometimes is hanging on by a thread some days, right? So, these class procedures are again for you and also for me. Again, the don't drive, don't check, insane rules. So, the first thing, right? How do you start Tech Ed every single day? And I'm going to tell you this, and you might forget, so I'll remind you, but for Tech Ed, what I would like you to do is I want you to go through that door, golly gee, say, woo-wee, Mr. Demchek, how are you doing today? Maybe give me a compliment, make me feel good. You know, give me an apple. I like apples. Teachers like apples. That's a stereotype. That's correct. And then you're going to go in and you're going to put all of your belongings, your books, your folders, everything is going to go into the cubbies underneath your tables. So if you haven't done that, let's do that now. And we're going to get into the habit of it because there's nothing I hate more than someone with their iPhone right next to like a project that they're trying to assemble with a hammer. It's never going to go well. So anyways, put your books in there now. I will wait. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay, if you need to put your books back, I'll give you one more second. Okay, now we gotta go. So, shifting gears, moving on with my list, right? Starting class, again, please put your books in underneath the table. The second thing is as soon as you sit down is my mental cue that the class is ready. So as soon as you sit, I'll look around, I'll see everyone's ready to go, I could do my attendance, and we could start working. Whatever that is, whatever project, whatever grade, sitting down is the fundamentals, okay? And it's something that'll drive me crazy, because I'll have kids like, oh, Tech Ed, I'm so excited to be here! Woo! Tech Ed, yay! And you know, I love that. I'm so glad you're excited and you're ramped up and you don't want to sit and you're springing with energy. I know what that's like, if you can tell. But if you're standing up, I've got to tell you to sit down. Every single day at Tech Ed, we got to start sitting. And it's the simplest thing, but it's something that drives me so crazy when we don't do it. Because it's so easy. Just sit. Alright. Next thing. So now we're in class, right? I've done my attendance, we're doing things. My biggest pet peeve in the whole wide world is when I'm up there talking. I don't fundamentally love talking. I'm not that good at it. I mumble, I stumble, I zone out. Sometimes I'll look outside in the woods. Sorry, right? And I lose my focus. So when I'm up here talking, I am kind of uncomfortable, personally. So when I'm talking and I hear someone else talking, that's a big distraction for me. Not only is it because I'm like auditory, like I can hear them talking, but I also see them talking and not paying attention to me, which means that it's kind of rude, right? Because again, I'm here for them. I'm saying what I'm saying to benefit them, and they don't see that importance. Also, I can't tell you how many times they're like, okay guys, every day we're going to do this, and today we're going to cut this piece of wood. And then I'll give them these instructions, and because they're talking, not listening, now I have to repeat myself. So it's an inconvenience, it's a distraction, and it's just rude. Again, if you haven't figured out yet, I give you more time than any other class, maybe gym. I'd say more time than gym to talk, hang out, be social, do you. But when I'm up here, I'm talking, please, 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 please don't talk. It's a real big pain in the butt. Okay, bam, so we got that done. Next. How to ask. I get asked a lot of questions. In fact, I made it a point. It was one day I was like, you know what? I've got my little notebook. I'm going to keep track of how many times people ask me questions, right? And some of these questions are, of course, legitimate, like, hey, you know, how do I not cut my fingers off? That's a good question. You should ask me that. Like, hey, is this flammable? Yes, good question. Those things are important, right? I didn't count those questions. I counted the silly, ridiculous questions, okay? And they say there's no such thing as a dumb question. There absolutely is, right? And some of the ones, right? And in no particular order, I want to talk about this bottom one here. You have a question, right? And you're dying. You want to know the answer. And I am the almighty, all-knowing teacher. However, right, you've got to take into consideration, I teach a lot of kids every day, like 145 kids, right? And all it takes is, 30 kids asking me, again, even like 2 questions each. It's like 60 questions that I just don't need to answer. And the most popular one is, what are we doing today? And again, you're excited and you come in and you're like, wow! What are we doing? Okay? That's great, I love it. But again, if I answered every single time someone asked me a question, I would literally dehydrate and my tongue would turn into chalk and I would cough it out, right? I will tell everybody what we're doing, but I just want to say it once. So after you sat down, right? After your books are away and you're golly gee, right? And you're sitting there and once I start a class, I will tell you, of course, what we're doing every single day. Usually it'll be written up here on the board under your 6th, 7th, or 8th grade objectives, okay? If not, it's possible that I may have forgotten it. I will tell you. It's, how could you, focus, okay. I will tell you, promise, okay? The next, there are some questions, of course, that just absolutely drive me crazy. Other than that one, the next big one, the big offender is the garbage can, right? Things in the craft closet, if you need scissors, tape, paper, all those things, right? All those little location things. My biggest thing is, if you don't know where something is, right? Yes, I do know where everything is in this room. However, so do a lot of your neighbors, a lot of your friends. You can absolutely talk to them. This is a big sharing community. Please use your neighbors. Please, please, please. If they don't know it, ask at least another person. My rule of thumb would be, I would love if you ask 2 people a question for how do I do this or where is this, that's going to save me a huge amount of questions. If they still don't know, absolutely come approach me. I technically work for you because your parents are my boss because their taxes pay my salary and my budget. So you could work it down. I work for you. I'm here to help you. But you've got to realize I'm only one person. And again, I get overwhelmed sometimes. So, the next, bathrooms, things like this. This goes down to when I'm up here talking, right, like blah, 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 and I'm pouring my heart and my soul into the lessons in which I teach, and then a hand goes up, right? And this is the best lesson I've ever done. But a hand goes up, right? And like Susie Q. Smithertonsville over there, it's like, oh, Mr. What? She's going to say, can I go to the bathroom? That for me is a huge distraction. And it doesn't help. The whole class doesn't need to know your systems, right? I don't really care. I do want you to ask me to go to the bathroom because I don't want people just walking in and out. However, there's a better way to do it. And again, some of you know this. It's an old elementary school trick of if you have to go to the bathroom, all I want you to do is get your fingers into a fist and then get your little thumb It's like this. And again, this is if I'm talking. If you do this signal, you really have to go to the bathroom. Totally fine. If you're doing this and I see it, I'll just point to the door and you can just go do you. I trust you that you indeed have to go to the bathroom. Good for you. Okay? If again, like we're making stuff with loud noises, I don't want you to be sitting in the corner like this while I'm running around the classroom because again, I might not see you. You can approach me then, but it's just when I'm talking. And the same goes, you have to go to your locker. I don't have a fancy system, a queue. If you have to go to your locker, it's more because you probably want to get something that you really don't need fundamentally, because in tech ed, all you need, listen, all you need is a single number 2 pencil with an eraser. Okay, this is it. This is the easiest class to be prepared for. And I can't tell you how many people are going to forget it. Please bring a pencil. Make me happy, okay? Yeah, so if you go into your locker, I'll ask you why, and you'll be like, I need to get my phone. And then I'll be like, why do you have to get your phone? Because I gotta update my status. And he's like, nope. If you do have to go for legitimate reasons, obviously I'll say yes. But a lot of times people are just doing what they want to do. Water, if you need to get water, I'm all about hydration. In fact, I've got a big rant about plastic water bottles killing the environment and the earth in general. So please, yeah, get a drink of water. The water fountain, technically the water from the municipalities, like public drinking water, is actually cleaner than Poland Springs water. I'm getting into my rant, I'm sorry. But yeah, the water is outside, it's free, it's delicious, and it's good for you. And it's helpful for your teeth because it has nutrients that your teeth like. Anyway. I went on a little rant there. Back on track. If you get water, yeah, go get water. Just again, tell me if you're walking around the classroom. I just don't want that. Cool. So this is, I'm all satisfied with this. The next portion, the behavior policy. Tech ed, I make tech ed so straightforward and easy and delightful for you, right? If you were to ask me, what do I want as a teacher? Well, my dream would be just to like have kids do awesome projects, and I just want to like laugh a lot. That's really all I want, right? I want to be safe. I want to have a good time. I want to have a good time. That's pretty much it. And it's so simple, right? And all you have to do, I'll promise I'll be the best I can be every single day, right? And if I'm not, I'm really good at faking it. You can't even tell. But you, please, again, if you're being the best you can be, right? I will, again, that will reflect, right? If you've got a positive attitude, that's going to make me happy. If you're negative, I tend to get dragged down into that negativity, that void, right? If you're misbehaving, I have to put more focus and energy into watching you if you're going to be doing something dumb, playing around, fooling around, running around, breaking things, throwing things. I have to constantly be watching you out of the corner of my eye, and that takes away from everybody else, right? And it takes away from my fun. So please, for my behavior policy, it's as easy as just be awesome. And everyone has their own different level of awesomeness, right? For me, my levels of awesomeness, you can't possibly imagine, right? It's like out of this solar system, man. And for you, again, might not be that awesome. But just be the best that you can be, okay? Whatever range that is, everyone has their own attitudes, beliefs, upbringings that's formed you into the person you are today. And whoever that is, that's great. But just remember, in your own little sphere, you can control how great and how awesome you are. If you're not, please, 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 please own it. Now, what I mean by owning it, okay? Very straightforward. And I tell this story, and if you've heard it before, I'm very sorry, but this is one of the most impressive stories I have. And it has to do with this pencil right here. So this pencil looks like a normal pencil, right? Doesn't look that great. Number 2, vaguely sharp. The eraser kind of dried out. Right? Good pencil still though. Good wood. Wood. Anyways, this pencil is special because it was given to me by my great-great-great grandfather, who used this pencil amazingly to escape Nazi Germany. And how he did this is he got captured, right? He was behind enemy lines. And he was a prisoner of war. And they put him in a concentration camp. So what my grandpa did was he snuck this pencil in, knowing that this can buy his freedom. So what he did was he swallowed it. He went, ah. And then he snuck it in, right? And then one day he pooped it out. And he got it. And he cleaned it because it's covered in poop. And then he used it to pick his lock in his jail cell. And then he opened that door. And then there were some guards. And then he poked him in the eyes. And then he made a run for it. And he got as far as the great river of Germany that I don't know right now. I'm sure they have a lot of great rivers. That's not important. He got out to that river. And he used this as a flotation device. Just like this. He put it on his, and he swam. He swam to the ocean. And then he made a raft. And then he used this pencil to row all the way to Monroe, Connecticut. Then he had this pencil and he wrote the Journey song. I don't know if you guys know Journey, Don't Stop Believing. He wrote that with this pencil. Okay. Then I got married to Ariana Grande, and he gave this to me for our wedding, right? So it's a very special pencil, and you know I bring it to class. I like to share it. If you need a pencil, again, here's my very special pencil, right? And I might give this to a student, right? And heaven forbid, right? Imagine you as a middle schooler, right? You get my pencil and you're writing. And then, you know, you're looking at the pencil and then you're like, oh, wow, I'm really bored. Mr. Demchak's talking about fractions again and measuring. And then so you're playing around with it and you're like, woo, doo, 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 I'm a kid, la da da, dee, 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 doo. And then you see like, wow, this is surprisingly flexible. And then, you broke it. Right? Now you're at a very interesting crossroads in your tech ed in life. You're poised with two forks in the road. You can either choose the left or the right. Now, these two different paths. Can anyone think of what these two paths would be? Now, granted, I guess we could make this like a Dora the Explorer. And then I could like pause and then you all say stuff. But that won't really work because I'm not asking about like what color is the sky. Do you want to try it? What color is the sky, everybody? Blue! Anyway. This is a different story though. So this one I'm just going to tell, right? So, we have a fork in the road. Okay. This one path, right? This hypothetical student could just like put it back together, right? And be like, oh, it's great. You know, maybe tape it. Maybe he won't know. Or maybe they could blame that smelly kid in the corner that nobody likes, right? Oh, yeah, smelly kid did it, right? Or they could just like, right? And just like, I don't know, I never borrowed a pencil, right? They could lie, they could cheat, they could do all kinds of bad things, right? And there's obviously you're more creative than I am, I'm sure. Light it on fire and then spread the ashes and do things. There's that path through life. But then there's the other path. And this is the path I want you to take. I want you to say, Mr. Demchak, I am sorry I broke your pencil. Right? And while I will truly be devastated at the loss of my pencil, it's really okay. Hey guys, I'm doing a lesson. Go ahead. Go. Keep going. So, because you guys are gonna. So, anyways, right, there's that other path. And that's the path I want you to take. Okay? Please tell me, no matter what it is, you can be honest with me. And this isn't like a trap that like adults say. This is honesty, right? Honestly, you can tell me anything, and I will, again, treat you the same. Hey guys, I'm doing a lesson. Thank you. Can you just go? I'm gonna have to edit this, guys. Guys, go. G-O, go. Sorry. Okay. So, anyways, I'm gonna have to edit this video a little bit. That's okay. The next step. Please tell me anything, okay? I'm a logical person. I'm very fair. I don't really get upset ever, okay? This story I'll even extend to the furthest reaches, right? Imagine this story, and this was what, Q2? This was a long time ago, when I had a student, and he was I call them knuckleheads, and I don't mean that as like a mean or bad way. A knucklehead for me is just someone who fools around. They're not necessarily bad kids, they fool around, you know, and that's not the end of the world. In the big picture, they're not mean, they're not bullies, they're not hurting anybody, they're just goofing, right? So I had this knucklehead, his name was Matt, and this kid Matt just historically didn't do much, right? He was just kind of, right? And one day, I finally hear him working, right? And he's hammering, and he's putting nails into a board, and he's worked in. I'm like, wow, that's great, Matt's working. I'm happy, I'm walking around, helping other people, like, you know, just having a grand old time. And it's just like, for me, I was like, oh man, that's so good. Matt's finally working, you know, he cares about tech ed, you know, he cares about his academic future. So I'm getting all like, you know, romantic with it. And then I turn around, I'm helping somebody, and then I hear this sound, right? And I instantly turn around to where the sound was, and I see this kid with a board up against the wall. So I go over there, calm, cool, collected that I normally am, and I see that this knucklehead, Matt, has gotten a board stuck in the wall. So I help him take it out. And I see that he put a bunch of nails into that board, like a zombie weapon, and hit my wall with it. And of course, now it's stuck. Now, here's the interesting part. Most teachers, of course, would explode, right? Suspension, lunch attentions, and yelling. I was very close, of course, to being a little upset. I internalized it. I took 10 deep breaths. I saw his face, though. And you could tell sincerely throughout all of his body language, his facial expressions, he apologized profusely. He truly, truly was sorry, right? And I understand that. I've had so many ideas that are like, well, yeah, let's try it. And just, it's gotten out of control and bad things have happened, right? But what's important was he owned it. He fully admitted that that was extremely dumb. He, instead of getting suspended and all that stuff, because he was mature about it and realized the mistakes, he fixed the wall, right? We spackled it. Again, we can pretty much fix anything here. He spackled it, sanded it, painted it. You can't even tell where he did it, right? He became kind of my helper and helped me around the classroom. He cleaned. Again, the sink has never been cleaner. And again, he made it up to me. After that, we became a little closer, like teacher, student-wise, right? And he became a great student. Not a perfect student, but an improvement over where he was. And that's really important. Okay, sorry if this video is a little choppy back and forth. Kids are coming in looking for projects and phones and overall wanting to see me, of course, their favorite teacher, which I understand. However, again, we were kind of running low on time. Pretty much all I wanted to say after that own it kind of policy is, again, be honest with me, everything's good. So to wrap everything up, please, again, I'm reflective, right? If you're great, I'm great. If there's a couple rotten eggs, unfortunately, it does kind of sap the fun out of me. So please just be considerate of that fact. If we have any time left, I think I edited this, so it should be about the full period. Any time left, if we got like 5 minutes left, totally hang out and chill, relax. Monday, I will also sadly not be here. It's a 2-day conference, so it's Friday and then Monday, which is really funky monkey. So Monday, we're going to do what I call safety stories. Safety is the most important thing in tech ed, right? Hands down, I don't care if you learn nothing, but safety is indeed the most important thing. So I want to make sure we're all on the same page. There are some stories that we're going to read and you're going to write little responses for. I'm sorry it's not the funnest thing in all of tech ed, but it really drives home the point of this is the most dangerous class in tech ed. Tech ed is the most dangerous class in the entire school, right? So I really, really want to make sure that not only you're safe here, but also you're safe in real life, okay? So when you enter the workforce in the coming years, right, if you're working with your dad in construction, if you're working at Toys R Us, right, all of those things, there's so many potential dangers and hazards. I just, again, want to make sure you're safe. So, in conclusion, be awesome, Obviously, I would assume that this video was so fantastic that you're at your edge of your stools the entire time and not giving the substitute any problems. But let's keep that up for Monday. So, I will see you all on Tuesday, where we're going to be starting to do things. So if you're getting really itchy, just again, put some ointment on it, relax. Things will, again, go down in fun. All right, everybody. See you on Tuesday.